Part 3. The truth my grandmother protected for 50 years. Sometimes the greatest miracle isn't finding the truth. It's finding the family you never knew you had. My heart pounded as someone knocked on Grandma's front door. Knock, knock, knock. For a moment, I couldn't move. The old farmhouse was supposed to be empty. Who could possibly know I was here? I slowly opened the door. Standing outside was an elderly man in his 70s. He wore a brown coat, carried a worn leather briefcase, and looked at me with tearful eyes. "Are you Grace?" he asked softly. "Yes," he nodded. "My name is Thomas Reed. I promised your grandmother that one day I would tell you everything." I invited him inside. As soon as he saw Grandma's Bible on the table, his eyes filled with tears. "I haven't seen that Bible in over 50 years, he whispered. I showed him the old photograph and the sealed envelope. He gently smiled. Your grandmother waited her whole life for this moment. He explained that he had been a young police officer when little Rose disappeared. For months, hundreds of volunteers searched nearby forests, rivers, and neighboring towns. But Rose was never found. Eventually, the case went cold. Everyone believed she was gone forever. Everyone except Grandma. Thomas reached into his briefcase and carefully placed another faded photograph on the table. It showed a smiling woman in her 50s. She looked exactly like my mother, exactly like Grandma, exactly like me. My voice trembled. "Who is she?" Thomas smiled. "Exactly like me." My voice trembled. "Who is she?" Thomas smiled. "Her name is Rebecca. She was adopted by a loving family after being found alone at a bus station nearly 500 miles away." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You're saying," he nodded, "Rebecca is Rose." Tears rolled down my face. After 50 years, Grandma's daughter had been alive all along. Thomas handed me one final document. It was a DNA report. Grandma had secretly taken the test a year before she passed away. The results confirmed everything. Rebecca was Rose. My grandmother had finally found her lost daughter. But there was one heartbreaking truth. Grandma became seriously ill before she found the courage to meet her. She feared reopening old wounds. Instead, she left the truth for me. Inside the final envelope was a handwritten address. Below it, Grandma had written, "Grace, if you're reading this, please do what I no longer have time to do. Tell Rose that I never stopped loving her." The next morning, I drove for nearly 6 hours. Every mile felt heavier than the last. Finally, I reached a small white cottage surrounded by colorful. I stood outside with trembling hands. I knocked. A kind-looking woman opened the door. The moment she looked at me, she froze. Her eyes filled with tears. You have my mother's eyes." I couldn't speak. Instead, I handed her Grandma's Bible. She gently touched the old leather cover. Then she noticed the photograph tucked inside. Her hands began to shake. "Mom, I stood outside with trembling hands. I knocked. A kind-looking woman opened the door. The moment she looked at me, she froze, her eyes filled with tears. "You," she whispered through tears. For several minutes, neither of us spoke. We simply cried, two strangers, connected by the same blood, the same memories, the same woman. Rebecca invited me inside. For hours, we shared photographs, family stories, and memories Grandma had wanted her to know. Although they never reunited in person, Grandma's love had finally reached her daughter. Months later, Rebecca came to visit our family. My mother embraced the sister she never knew she had. Our family laughed, cried, and healed together. As I placed Grandma's Bible back on the shelf, I smiled. Some secrets are buried for decades, but love always finds its way home. Read the end, read if this story touched your heart. Please thumbs up, share read, subscribe bell, and turn on notifications so you never miss another emotional story. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story. Read.